it just takes time and it takes certain serendipitous moment for something like that to create, when the universe is aligned.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
I agree.
yeah,
Man,
we
you're
may
pulling out the good words today. Pivotal, I can't even say it. Serendipitous. I love
serendipitous
that
moment.
word.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
thank you.
Yeah, it's
Came
very
prepared.
true. It is. It's very true. Sorry. It's discontinued. Hi there. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to episode 4 of Sorry, It's Discontinued. I'm Hilary, your host, and I just can't wait to talk to you. Today is such a fun episode. The guest I'm about to introduce to you is someone I had the pleasure of meeting just recently. I met him at the Nordstrom men's department in the Houston Galleria, and as soon as we started talking, I knew you would love to hear his story. Now, before we get into it, I have to share a few fascinating facts about Nordstrom. I love facts, because this store is more than just a department store. It's a piece of retail history. I love history. Did you know Nordstrom was founded all the way back in 1901 in Seattle as a small shoe store by John W. Nordstrom, a Swedish immigrant who had struck gold in Alaska. Crazy! What started as Wayland and Nordstrom grew into one of the most beloved fashion retailers in the U.S., thanks to its legendary customer service and timeless style. Well, Nordstrom opened its doors in the Houston Galleria in 2003. It wasn't just another store opening. It really marked a huge moment for Houston retail. At the time, the Galleria was already the 4th largest shopping mall in the country. And Nordstrom's arrival, it solidified its place as a major luxury shopping destination. Today, the Galleria sits as the 3rd largest mall in the U.S., just behind American Dream in New Jersey and Mall of America in Minnesota. Have you gone to those places? I haven't been to those malls. I would love to go. So yes, Houston was ready for Nordstrom, and Nordstrom was ready to really make an impact on Houston. How fun is that? Okay, now we have to get to the best part of this episode. My dear new friend, Kenneth. Through this episode, you will get to know such a beautiful human. Kenneth moved to Houston from Hong Kong at the age of 16, navigating the challenges of a new culture, new schools, and a sense of identity that many first-generation immigrants can deeply relate to. After switching high schools 4 times, he finally found his place and built strong, lasting friendships that helped support him at that time and still today. He shares openly about the complex experience of feeling not American enough to fully belong here, while also having been away from Hong Kong long enough to feel like a stranger there too. Now, Kenneth has had meaningful people really guide him and uplift him along the way, from his mother who still lives in Hong Kong to a compassionate caseworker named Bethany, whose kindness came at a moment that meant everything, and he still remembers it to this day. In college, he really fell in love with art. Today, he continues to embrace his love for painting and practicing the art of calligraphy, a creative outlet he describes as both a source of therapy and consolation. Now, as a loyal advocate for classic men's fashion, Kenneth remains dedicated to upholding its timeless value. Whether he's spending time with his girlfriend, reconnecting with friends, visiting his mom, or relaxing at home with his beloved cat, Lil Bro, who you'll actually hear us talking about because he has to do a couple little drive-bys during the podcast. It's so sweet. Kenneth brings warmth, intention, and sincerity to everything he does. He's the kind of person who sees people for who they are and genuinely wants to leave them better than he found them. It really is such an honor to share his story with you today. So let's get into it. Well, Kenneth, welcome. Thank you so much for being on Sorry It's Discontinued. I'm so excited you're here with me.
Same here. Yeah, I'm very excited. I just met you, but I feel like I already have so much we could talk about.
I know, right?
Yes,
Just
actually, yeah.
meeting you, like a couple weeks ago when we were talking, I felt so comfortable. Like we could have just talked forever about all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff. It was so
whenever we have
easy.
time. Yeah, whenever we have time. It's just so far. I think we are also in a starting, I think things are picking up like in the retail world. Like Father's Days to me is just like one of those minor peak and then retail is gonna get better, after
I
Easter and
agree.
all that. Yeah, yeah.
I agree. I think that people are looking for connections. They're
Uh-huh.
wanting to find people that are relatable and meeting salespeople. People want to talk, even if you're in the line at the grocery store or what have you, and you end up talking to somebody. People, they want to get off their phones. So
Yes.
anyway, we could keep talking about that. But I thank you so much for also being here on Sunday and your day off. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Our
some
day out.
self-care.
Very special.
Well, I have some questions and I'm going to cheat because technically I haven't figured out how to put the questions on the screen and I'm blind.
Mhm.
But I want to dive into your story and really get to know your history. Did you grow up in Houston or somewhere in
I
Texas or?
I think that has always been difficult to for me to answer because I feel like now I'm looking back, I did grow up in Texas. Even
Okay.
sometimes I have problem admitting it. But I was born in Hong Kong. I was
Okay.
born in Hong Kong and came to the United States. Family reunion when I was 16 years old. So most of my childhood memory, all my growth, most of the things I've learned up until, the teenage year, I think I got it all from Hong Kong. And nowadays I still I'm having that little quasi identity crisis. It's like, who am I? Am I a Hong Kong person? Should I start telling people, like, you know what, I'm actually American now? But these are the really good questions that actually
Yeah.
never really, even I asked myself.
Well, and
And
as we get older and we change, I mean, can't you be all of it or a little bit of both?
exactly.
Or does it have to be in one group, especially coming to America? And so you came when you were 16. Did you go to high school
I
in
did.
Texas or Houston?
I first came to United States. I was settled. I moved in with my dad in a town, Wood.
Okay.
Actually, southern part, the very southern part of the actually closer to Galveston than it is to Houston. But very soon, situations changed. I got to move around really fast and really quickly. Four high schools. I've moved four different high schools.
Or high schools. That's a
Yes,
lot.
that's a lot in 1 year. The fourth one was the one that I stayed for the longest. I was there for about 3 years. I've met most of my good friendship that has forged that last till today. I still
You
talk
still
to, but
have.
yeah, that I absolutely love. People are so nice. People are so kind. Houston, the first thing I tell people that I like about is the people. People
Yeah.
here are, yeah, a lot of people, plenty of good people that are genuine to you. That is like couldn't wait to be your friends. That's just the feeling
Yeah.
I've been getting ever since the beginning, and I've learned from that. I've learned from that because before then, Hong Kong is a different city. They have a different mood, different attitude when it comes to like social interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of like completely uh, have to learn how to conduct myself like entirely when I came to
Yeah.
the United States because United States like everybody
Yeah, it's
more
a big
welcoming,
adjustment, I'm sure. I mean, and
huge
we're very,
adjustment.
some people are more touchy-feely and, the very
Mm-hmm.
Western way of, kind of being loud and speak your feelings or,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just be more boisterous, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
not as composed.
You can feel like they're warmer. They're
Okay.
warmer than people who are like, let's say, from an more urban area. And that is like when I find it fascinating is that like, well, I don't have to act like I'm a city dweller all the time. I could just be relaxed and actually genuinely asking people. It is something really bizarre. Even the question is simple as like, how are you? Sometimes people, they don't regard it as something important, but if came to the United States, it's like, okay, I really care about your feelings, and I really appreciate that you care about my feelings. You're asking me how I am every day. That is something comes like the genuine ones comes to pretty rarely if you're living
Yeah.
in a bigger city. And that also, look at
Yes, it's
that.
so,
There's a little kitty just so very
little
elegantly, so
camera,
nonchalant. And just like,
little
this is
camera
my
drive
place.
by.
I would cat. That is his name is Little Bro. I'll tell you the
Little
origin of that
pro.
name.
Yes, please.
That is when I realized, like, okay, I'll learn how to be friendly in an American way. I'll learn how to socialize in an American way. So I think retail was like a huge stepping stone for me because
Yeah.
I was like kind of afraid of being like making mistakes. Like I don't want to be like the unwelcome bunch. My challenge is to how to talk to people and how to make other people to feel the
Yeah.
same way that I want to feel. I want other people to feel welcoming.
quick in customer service and dealing with people.
Yes.
So, were you in high school and you started working in retail, or did you go from high school to college? Or what was your, I won't say transition.
Is after I graduated from high school, yeah, I went to community college. I have an apartment of my own.
Was that
Then was in Houston, and
okay?
guess what? It was in the Galleria.
Aw.
Yes, the store. It was Clark's shoe store. That
Okay.
was my first retail job ever. That
Oh,
was the
wow.
challenge I give myself. I love it. I never regret joining that company. I learned a
Well,
great
that's
deal.
because shoes, I mean, you really do dive in with shoes and
Mhm.
I worked in a shoe store when I was in high school actually. I did not do well. I
Ooh.
was actually fired. I know
We have
it was
more
a struggle
stories to
for
go
me.
into that. Yeah. Yeah.
Going into the stock room and trying to find the shoes and the different
It could be
aisles and people, it was
so
just
dreadful.
challenging.
Yeah.
So I have to hand it to you. You really dove into the retail world with shoes. God
First.
love ya.
Yeah.
So you liked the company and you liked how they treated you and you were able
Oh
to really
yes.
work with the clients.
Oh yes. Because I think um I'm sure you know the challenges that how chaotic it is. So really, the
Yeah.
redeeming quality there is what we mentioned. People is I had a good boss, I had good coworkers. They were supportive, even though it was back then, a long time ago. It was probably 15 years ago. I still remember my manager was very supportive, and they even the customer was very forgiving. Sometimes I could make a mistake. They would give me time. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Um, yeah, I will have plenty of time. Like, things like this, it give me a lot more courage, like
Yeah.
to undo the mistake and to do better next time. So I always consider myself very lucky because without all these little tiny little things that everybody showing you kindness and support,
Hmm.
I don't think I can make it till today. And I will probably would have switched jobs. The
Yeah.
first year I was in retail, so people are
Oh,
there are plenty of kind people out there.
there
Yes.
really are.
Yeah.
I know those moments, they make all the difference to keep you going and going
Yes.
back and,
Yes.
clocking back in.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, so you went from shoes to what were you studying in college, if I may ask? I mean, were you studying business or what was your focus in school
My
at
focus
that
was
time?
was actually psychology. It's actually
Oh,
psychology.
I
Psychology
could see
was,
that.
huh? Look at my glasses. Probably I stole that style from Sigmund Freud, but I just don't have the wrinkles. Um,
Yes. The great Freud.
Great
Okay.
Freud. Yes. There's also another topic we could jump for a
Yeah,
different
we really
episode.
could.
Yes. But very quickly I realized, you know what? It's a little bit different than I imagined. The rubrics and the curriculum. I realized something was better. So I I switched major to uh, fine art and art history and all that. But ever since then, I that was the major field of knowledge that I'm still carrying today. They're still affecting me today on daily basis. It was actually fine art and art history. A little bit Eurocentric first, the beginning, but now I appreciate art and try to appreciate art and read into the rich culture of the entire world. But everything starts from that point, like the first year of my college, like second
Wow.
years. Yeah.
Did you have a lot of support with school and then going into retail from friends and family? Did you?
Oh,
Oh, little
mhm.
bro.
Little bro is here. Little bro knows what I'm paying attention to, and he's
Yeah, of course.
trying to. You know what? I'm the one that.
My daughter's cat does that too. Hugo,
Yeah.
he always has to be like laying on her laptop or show up on
Mm.
the phone.
Yeah.
But I know they're so sweet.
They're there. Mm. So
Um,
yeah, support, right?
yeah, support.
Yes, support. Very few people know about this. I was actually a foster kid when I was going transitioning through from
Transitioning.
from high school graduate and to like college students. So the support that I got the most that I still consider myself lucky is that I did get some Pell Grant from my state of Texas because being a foster kid at one point. So that was a
Wow,
it was a
Kenneth.
great relief, and
Yeah.
that gave me stress a lot less when it comes to like managing life at that point. And then I could still not feeling that being stressed all the time. I could focus on my what I really want to grow, the area that I want to grow. At that point, I
Hmm.
could still go to work. I could I could sustain a living. Um, I could still do painting outside of classes. At the same time, I still have friends that admire you know, we all need some audiences when we are working our
Yeah,
own projects, when we are doing painting, especially at the beginning too. We don't know who we are. We
absolutely.
kind of, yeah, we so easily for any of the people who trying to first launch a hobby and trying to make it serious, people lose directions pretty easily. But if you have a
Uh-huh.
few friends that had shown you true passion and true support, I think it would be much easier. So at that
They
point,
really show up for you.
they show up for you, and then you'll keep on going. I happen to have a back then. I kept my this is one of the things. I kept my contact info with one of my favorite caseworker when I was in foster care. So when I was doing painting, she was paying attention to what I was doing, and then sometimes from time to time I'll show her, hey, you know what? This is a new painting. What do you think? And then time goes by. At one point, she decided, you know what? I'm gonna arrange a little art show for you. And she did.
Oh,
And she did. Her
wow,
name is
Kenneth.
Bethany. I have to tell you, her
Oh,
name is Bethany.
Bethany.
Yes.
What a good
She's
person.
yeah, she changed my life. It was so many
Yeah.
yeah. Or just in a way that she gave me the courage that I needed most at that moment, you know, for
Mhm.
any artist trying to
You had someone in your
be
corner. That
serious.
makes all the
Yeah.
difference. Like, you've got
Mm-hmm.
this. Just do what you love. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on painting. You're going to school. It's going to be
Yes.
okay. Day at a
It's pretty
time.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great. So I really appreciate like people who just showed up for you, you know.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to be
absolutely.
that person
Well, you
also
did
because
for me today. So,
I
check.
try to be that
Check.
person ever since. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and
For
anyone,
someone.
when I go to the store, and I'm just, saying hi to people and I mention your name, their
Mhm.
face just immediately, they just start smiling and can't say enough, how wonderful you are. There's just love there when anyone hears your name. So you're doing everything right. Oh, what a great,
Thank you.
thank you for sharing that, with
No
me.
problem.
I,
Not a lot of people know about that. So
so you're just going to talk to me about it on the podcast.
yes, I will. Because perfect place.
It's a good story. It's a good, just opening your heart.
Hmm.
So thank you for that. I'm getting choked up. I have tissues though, so it's okay.
Right.
And I have water and coffee.
Some
Not that I
coffee.
need the coffee. Okay, so you're going to school, you're doing the art, and then you go from art to, did you start working at a store or did you always love fashion
Right.
and like designers and just kind of that world and how it is art, I mean, looking at couture and, the
Yes.
colors and the feelings you get from fashion.
Very
So how did you
captivating.
connect all that and kind of start in the pivot to where you are now?
So that I also have to search within myself very deeply. Remember, it was my mom actually helped me to figure this out. It's like when did I really show in passion for fashion or one's appearances? It's like why am I a little different? I'm not saying a huge difference, but why am I a little different? I'm always a little bit obsessed with like what color I'm gonna put on, what I'm gonna wear for my school year. I'm starting showing like I was 6 or 7 years old, and then my mom said something like, "Oh, that's because you're starting to have to wear your school uniform, and then you have to get yourself a pair of black leather shoes every year, and we'll only buy you one pair a year." So I think that's little Kenneth thinks that this is a very important decision. I actually sometimes would spend all day at that time, 6 or 7 years old, and 8 and 9 years old when I was doing that. It's like every year before the summer ends. My mom says, like, you're very upset. You're very focused every time you're trying to choose the pair of shoes that
Was
you're
it
gonna
just
wear for the
before
next year
school
to come.
started or before the school year would start or when
Before the
you like
school
each
year,
morning or each night before school? So
before
it,
the year of the school, before year of the school, before the school year starts. So it was basically the end of August. It's like, yeah,
uh-huh.
you're so obsessed. Like my mom doesn't understand. At that point, she didn't understand. It's like most of the kids, she would like mumbling to me, like complaining to me. It's like, yeah, most kids they take 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours max. It's like they could just grab whatever shoes
Just
they want.
grab
But you,
whatever, throw it on.
yeah, I
Like,
will go to
no,
one
this
store to
is
the next store to
important.
the next store to the next store to the next store. Okay, let's
I
go back to
love
the
it.
first store. I still remember my mom says that, yeah, you're so obsessed with that little detail. Even the shoelaces, the hole for the shoelaces, like the eyelet, it's like, yeah, you have preferences for that, but I forgot what it was anymore. It's like, really? So I would say like my attention to details was starting from that point and starting to show people saying like my tie knot. I insisted like doing my tie knot my way, not the way that my mom showed me, or
So wait,
things.
how old were you? You knew how to tie a tie at
Tie
this
tie.
young age, at
I
6 or
think
7?
I
Or
think it
was
was
that
my
because of the
mom
school uniform?
starting to tie my tie for like a year or two, and then maybe 9 or 10, I'm starting to tie my own tie. Yes,
Wow.
yes, and also give me the lesson. I iron my own shirt. I have to iron my own shirt, and then when you're ironing, sometimes like OCD could come up like, okay, I need to iron again, or this bit there is still a little wrinkly. So I think also responsibility. If you learn, if you've been put in the position where you have to look after your own little tiny wardrobe, you
Yeah.
manage to learn that on a daily basis, and very quickly you realize I could do more. I could do more.
I could do something more with this.
Start more with that, and you push your perfectionism to like broaden it to like from school uniform to like clothes that you wear outside of
Yeah.
school
Well,
and all
hearing
that.
you talk, you remind me a lot of like news journalists who have met with Tom Ford. I mean, he would talk a lot about how he was, as a young kid, he was a
Hmm.
perfectionist and wanted things a certain way and would rearrange his parents' like furniture and all these, like he would notice all the little things and details. And
Hmm.
of course, having that talent, even though it could be stressful, I'm sure, and overwhelming, it would make things just so beautiful. And it seems connected to art. And
Hmm.
um, so it's interesting to hear you say
Interesting.
that. Yeah, I don't
Now
know.
I know I'm not alone. Like I
You
know
are
that.
not alone in
Wait,
that. I mean, you're unique and beautiful. He did a lot of the same things, and he is such a perfectionist. And he's,
Tom Ford
so
is a legend. Yeah,
yeah.
it's an inspiration. I look up to him not just for his like the appearances, but his philosophy too. But I think I've never heard of that story. Now I
Yeah, you
think
need to
I
look it
need to
up.
know a little bit more. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool. But wow. So you've always had an eye for fashion and
Hmm.
then going into working for a luxury retail and
Hmm.
working in the men's department.
Hmm.
So and now because you get to work with so many different people and
Hmm.
different clients and customers, do you have fun styling like their wardrobe? Do you have like a clientele that you're able to do that with and really kind of show them like your touches? And I don't know,
Hmm.
do you find that you're able to use your passion basically is what I'm saying, with
But
clients and
oh
your
yes, oh
your
yes.
position right now?
I'm feeling the sense of fulfillment, like what you just mentioned. It gives me the what you have just mentioned is the one of the one of the major source of the sense of fulfillment I get. Broadening not just my client base, but we have to like I learned the importance in the field of the luxury retailing. It's like cultivating the pre-existing relationship is also just as important. Believing in that not just kindness that we just previously mentioned,
Yeah.
but I think there's a philosophy. I don't know where I picked that up, but it's just something that is still one of my mantra. I remind myself, and if the situation, where the scenario is right, I will introduce that to my customers. I tell myself like everything beautiful takes time and takes a lot of time to build and to create. And a relationship is one of the things. Beautiful clothes is one of the many things. Painting is one of the many things. So that philosophy is just something that is quite to the core to what I do every day, to painting, to go to work, or to the way I conduct my interactions with customers. Not just the first interaction, the second interaction, so third interaction, and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Takes time and believing in that not just you ourselves, we are the salespeople, we are the communicator, we are the emotional generator. We already know how beautiful the things that we're selling, how beautiful the things that it will go onto the customers that you want to help. But you have to be able to communicate it to the customers. Like, this is the level of the beauty I could envision you. And please trust
Man.
me. Please trust me. Like, this is my vision. And
Well,
then
hearing you talk, I just want to come in your department and then just, do it up.
please trust
Style
me.
me up, Kenneth. I'm ready.
Patience, patience. like get an appointment
Patience,
first,
yeah.
get an appointment. But yeah, that is something that I believe in.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so moving and it's so true. And that's why you have customers that come back because they can feel that, genuineness from you
Trying to
and
be.
it's inspiring. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. And customers know if you are being genuine or
Yeah.
not. They know. They know. Trust me. Don't
Well,
fool
that
yourself.
review, you shared with me that review that you had received, I don't know, a few days ago. I don't know if
It
it was a
was.
Yelp review
It was a
or.
Yelp review.
Oh my
It was a.
gosh, it was amazing. The amount of time it took for him to put all of that into
Oh
words
yes.
just speaks so highly of the time you took with him and how much he appreciated it, because not everybody experiences it. Salespeople, of course, we're human and we're not always going to be on top of everything with the goals or depending on what we've got going on personally when we come into work and how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that can happen, but when you have that moment and you connect with the client
Mm-hmm.
and you just make them feel so good and forget
Mm-hmm.
about what's going on in their world
Mm-hmm.
and their life, and for him to write that about you, it's so cool. It was a good
It was
review.
very good. I was
Very
probably. I
deserving.
haven't gotten. Thank you. It's encouraging. I think most of all, it's very encouraging. It's like, okay, so I'm doing something right.
You're doing something right.
I've been doing
Yes.
something right. Most of all, yes.
Wow.
I mean,
Now,
yeah. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just think that also it just takes time and it takes certain serendipitous moment for something like that to create. When the universe is aligned.
Yeah,
Yeah. When
I agree.
yeah,
Man,
we
you're
made.
pulling out the good words today. Pivotal, pivotal. I can't even say it. Serendipitous. I love
Serendipitous
that
moment.
word.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Came
very
prepared.
true. It is. It's very true. I um I think when, you recognize it because, sometimes we're so busy and we're not always aware of it,
Yes.
being conscious of it and
Yes.
it really can remind you like, oh wait, I am in the right place.
Yes.
This is a good moment
Yeah.
and
Let's not
everything's
wait a
gonna
sec.
be
Let's not waste a second. Let's not waste a minute. He needs my help.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Because I think we all know how unpredictable our job is. When it comes to timing, when it comes to we're not in control. Sometimes fast paced, sometimes it's very slow.
Yeah,
We have to deal with it as they come to us.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads me into this next question I wanted to ask. I was curious. I helped in clothing and different departments, but I was mainly in fragrance and beauty. But
Hmm.
being in the men's department, are there any things to, not to negate what, um, your your managers are doing or what have you. But out of curiosity, is there anything that you would do differently if you were in charge of that department or in charge of customer service? Or I don't know. I was just wondering, like, is there anything that you see or recognize each day that might be a challenge and there's something that you feel would be helpful
Hmm.
with that? Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, it
maybe
makes sense.
like locations of things or where like the disconnect can be with like
Hmm.
returns and I don't know, even not necessarily customer service,
Hmm.
logistics, but personal customer service and connecting.
Something that we could strengthen in the in our department. I think we have so much product on the sales floor.
Yeah.
There's sometime a few months ago, one thing came across my mind because I just somehow being reminded so many times by so many customers coming in here. They are coming in here asking for like designer brands, and we no longer carry. And
Mm,
not just to the customers, sometimes we disappointed them that we might not have the certain things that they're looking for because
yeah.
online they could only see so much. They come here to the store to pay us a trip, so they want to
Yeah.
touch it. They want to feel it. They want to know if that is the real thing. I think that is something that I feel like to not the products that we carry is very vast, is still a lot. It just I feel like we could use a little smaller, almost like a capsule section where we put
Okay.
the a little bit more elevated or higher ticket
Kind of
high,
trending brands or
yeah,
newer
high ticket
products.
products, yes,
Yeah.
and we don't have to be like a huge one, but it's like maybe a little capsule section or a little smaller stall or kiosk that is,
Mhm.
that has a little bit more story that could more stories to tell, something that has a little bit more
Like a storytelling, elevated
storytelling,
pop-up.
elevator pop-up. Yeah, that is just something that I'm not so sure because I'm not a manager. I feel like manager would know more the
Yeah.
practical aspect of what is possible, what is not possible to execute
Yeah, of course.
certain
I
ideas. So
know.
I would never go there.
There's a
But
lot to it.
there's a lot to it, a lot more to it. We only could provide our vision and then maybe they
Yeah.
consider it. But it's something that I feel like, yeah, we could do that. We could have not just we never know. That's one thing I've, very long years of retail career, I've noticed is that you could never guess. You could never guess. Even though we sometimes were convinced that we could never guess
Yeah.
how much a person is spending and ready to spend.
Oh,
Really,
absolutely.
yes, we can never guess.
Yeah.
And to maximize the opportunity and to really well care about what the customer need and they might need in the future is our job. But if we have a little bit more something that is something that could touch, something that could feel we're in front of them,
Mhm.
ready to go, I know that would be make our job a bit easier. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I think it
probably
will.
something too that you could, I mean, with your skills and being so artistic, you should be in charge of that part, like the little pop-up. Not to give you more work. You necessarily need more jobs or,
Oh,
more to
yeah.
do,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that,
I'll be very
you
confident for that part. I would be
Now,
confident.
have you ever had any, or is there a story that I know I'm kind of throwing this out there, but I mean, we've all had
Mhm.
experiences like with negative customer service issues or people that have challenged us and we've learned from. Was there ever a moment that kind of sticks out for you with a customer that was really challenging and you might have had to take a few breaths and like it's okay. I got this.
Too many to count. Too many to count.
I
Too
know.
many to
Like
count.
one time I had ordered like 3 dolls that were
Uh,
online only at this one store for a customer, and I had to order it for her and ship it, and they were missing for like 4
oh,
days, and it was for Christmas, and she was so upset, but then they ended up being at the house, and somebody at the house had just misplaced the packages.
oh,
So that was a little stressful. Yeah.
oh.
But they were there. That's all I cared
They were
about.
there the entire time. It
Thank
just probably
God.
their home is so big.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just
So
lost in
somebody
the
who's
yeah.
there, they just kind of moved the packages and but
Yeah.
that was really
Did they
challenging.
apologize at the end? Did they at least
Yeah,
apologize
yeah.
for you have worked
She was like,
so
"No,
hard
I
to
found them," and
acknowledging?
then just got on with her day. I was like,
They need
"Well,
to
okay."
acknowledge. Oh no, they need to acknowledge more than that. But these are the situations we have to encounter, and we have to. It's like a mine. We have to know how to diffuse these little tiny bombs. I think.
Yes.
My experience. Usually, I think it has so much to do with these time-sensitive scenario. Also,
Yeah.
there's one time. It's kind of similar to what you have there. I have to overnight a suit to a customer.
Oof.
Everything is calculated on point. It's like, no problem. Don't stress it. No need to sweat. Like with
You
plenty of
got this.
time. The package goes out at 4 o'clock. You already have all these labels stick onto the box ready to go at 2 o'clock. There's nothing would go wrong. And then
Yeah.
something gone wrong. The next day, the customer did not get the suit jackets that they're so eager to have. It's like, where is it? It's like, where? I left it there at the door, ready to go. The UPS guy, oh, FedEx guy at that time, should have gotten it. And then I was like, we were both searching everywhere. It's like, where's the package just gone? Because we even called the FedEx. It's like, immediately to show that it's not gone out yet. It's like, it's not gone out. So we found it. It was actually in the box was so thin, it fell into the crack of the door in the
Oh,
computer desk. So it was
no.
still in the store.
It was still
It
this.
was in the store.
But thank
God,
gosh.
we have to check it. We
Oh,
have
you
to
had
tell
the
the customer.
jacket. Because
Yes,
the
and
worst is finding out that it's gone and it was either stolen or something.
yes,
I
but
had
it
that
was
happen
still
with a
there.
handbag. It was a
Yes.
Tom Ford Gucci limited
Mhm.
edition bag that a
Oh no, those are
customer,
irreplaceable, don't you think
oh,
so? There's
she
no
had
amount of money.
the box was shipped. She received the box, literally opens the box,
Uh-huh.
like you cut with the box cutter and everything, starts to go into the box, and there's
Uh-huh.
tissue, and then there's even the dust bag.
Yes.
There's no purse and no,
How?
yeah. It
How did
was
that happen?
crazy,
It's a
and I'm
mystery.
trying to think, even, like, I think the box was there for
Uh-huh.
the actual, and they had cut the bottom in a way that was so strategic. They were able to slide, like, the bag out in the box. I don't even
Wow.
know how they did it, but we ended up, it was fine, placed it, but it was stressful. And then you just, you feel so bad for the client 'cause they're so
Yes.
excited. She had to wait, like, a month. Anyway,
But
so
these little things, we know how they do it, or we can speculate how they do it. And now that is when we deploy the proper, appropriate countermeasure. We would never know how to counter these or resolve these situations
yeah.
until these things happen to you.
Yeah.
Now we know how to
Now
come
we
up with
know.
how to
Yeah,
be
you learn.
how to be extra careful next time.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it's a learning experience, a lot of things. Like, just like you have to pick yourself up. It's like, you know what, another day, another cell, we got this, and
Yeah.
we just
And the client
apologize.
is so sweet. She was so
Yeah,
understanding, and it was just such a weird thing, but it worked out in the end.
worked
But
out at the end.
definitely, made us more cautious, and you do
Yes.
more things to be more proactive and
Mm-hmm.
protective of merchandise. I I know, like, where you are now and what you're doing. Do you see yourself doing more art, like, going forward and in a few years? Like, so, are you painting, or what do you do as your side
I am
hobby? Like,
painting.
what's your mental health support, that you give
Mm-hmm.
yourself outside of working in retail?
I can reach up. This is a very good question. I think every single day when I got off work, the first thing is like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna recharge, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Usually it would be on work days. The next day you have to work again, work nights, I'm sorry. I'll just do something simple because, it doesn't involve with like squeezing on these paints. You have to wash these brushes. You have to put everything away, cleaning up. Usually these things takes an hour or two just to preparation.
Yeah.
So I would do calligraphy. Actually, I didn't tell you. It's like another thing that I'm very, very passionate about is calligraphy, both like the Eastern one and the Western ones. Those are the one easy to go.
Wow.
Yes, and I have been writing quite a ambitious of piece of work that is dedicated to for my mother. She is a Buddhist, and I am making a replica of a Buddhist scripture, like a Heart Sutra, that type of thing. It's actually called the Lotus Sutra. But that is like has been my favorite calming down, or like having I don't know, it's like a good chicken noodle soup to my soul. It's like
Oh, a
it's
good
like
distressor,
it's
just
a
to
very
keep
good,
you away,
yeah,
almost meditative.
meditative. It calms you down really fast. And
Yeah.
whenever I'm holding a brush that's dipped with gold ink on a dark blue paper, could feel it again at the end of the day. Like the universe is in order again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's really
similar.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's been very effective recently. It's been something I don't want to miss after a long day of work.
You look forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And days like if I get 2 days off, substantial, you get yourself a little bit more space to do a little bit more bigger projects, then I will have like I'll bust my canvas out. I'll continue painting on the canvas. Recently, I've been painting something a little bit bigger. Uh, I'm having so much fun actually, but I couldn't do that as frequent as I do calligraphy. But yeah, I've been doing Chinese calligraphy recently. It's getting better, and I'm excited to share it with my mom as soon as I finish it.
Now, is your
Yeah.
mom in Houston, or is she still in Hong Kong?
She's
Where
still
is
in Hong Kong. She's
she's
still
in
in
Hong
Hong
Kong?
Kong.
Do you
Yeah.
get to go see her?
Yes, I just stayed here like a little bit, just like a year ago. I've flown there.
Okay.
Like it was a good trip. And my mom just visited us, my girlfriend and I, just a month ago. She stayed here for 3 weeks. We had such good time. It's such a good time.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful.
And
Did
she
she meet your
also,
girlfriend for the first time?
for the first time
Wow.
after 2 years of our relationship. So it was for something special when she
Yeah,
came
very
down here.
meaningful.
Very meaningful, yes. And they like each other. The
Good.
most important part is like
Yeah.
they like each other.
Score.
We're holding our breath. Yes, score. Okay, we can continue. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the most important part is like, yeah, they know each other now. Everything has gone smooth.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good.
it's a blessing. I consider it a
It's
blessing.
serendipitous.
Serendipitous. Yes, everything goes well at the right moment.
Now,
You know,
okay, you have a piece of art behind you. Is this your art?
it is my art. I did paint
Oh,
this.
I was hoping you'd say that because I love it. It's beautiful.
It is like a prototype. It's something that didn't take long for me. But so I think, strictly speaking, it's like a study of another piece or of a series of painting. This guy, the color, the composition was actually I got it from my dream. I dreamt of this painting one night. So it's like the morning I got it, I was like, I need to draw that down. I need to put that down on a piece of paper and then turn it into a painting. I was dreaming myself sleeping in my bedroom, but the only difference in that bedroom was there was a painting on top of my bed was this painting. So
Wow.
I had to paint it. So this is it. And
Man,
as I
Kenneth, you're
was
so cool. It's, you're
as
gonna
I
do
was
so many things.
as I was saying, this is a study, right? So I got
Okay.
the more well composed, more finished work is actually right behind this camera. But I don't know how to
Okay.
quite flip it. So I don't know if I could show it to you. Maybe next, I don't,
Next time if you want
next
to.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've done a few more. This is just the beginning. This is like a
Well, and if
granddaddy.
you have like a link or something, I can add that to
Hmm.
my website so
I
that way
could do
people
that.
can find you
Yeah.
and connect with you and maybe even, get you to do some commissions or something.
Who
I don't know.
knows? Yes.
Who knows?
And then I'll
Um,
obligate. Yes. Yes.
well, okay. So we've talked about personal time and mental health and how you take care of yourself and working in like the men's department. I am curious. I always like to end an episode
Hmm.
um, with something that might have been discontinued. It doesn't have to be like,
Ooh.
beauty, or it could be anything. It could be fragrance, skincare, fashion, anything that you've always just kind of, or something you used to love and you miss. And did anything replace it? And this doesn't have to be like an SAT. It's okay if you can't really think of anything. You could even say something that you really love right now, too, like something that you're using or some trend that you're just in love with.
I think right now there's certain things I've been looking for, but nowhere to be found. I noticed Discontinued. Oh my goodness, I think it'll be perfect for me to say this like a few years ago, but now not so much because the suit from the 80s, the suit from the 80s, a little bit like broad shoulder,
Yeah.
the gorge with the lapel, a little lower, a little bit
Yeah.
sagging. Giorgio Armani made it phenomenal out of the era. Like it's like the I don't know the whole zeitgeist of that time is like everything is rich and abundance. Even fabric is so abundant. They could wear so much more at that time.
Yeah, of
They
course. And
yes.
I was born in 75, so I
Mhm,
went to school and, elementary school. We were all,
mhm,
Madonna and lace and,
yes. Oh,
bracelets
even
and
hair. It's like
caps and
extra
thinking
volume.
hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have like the hairspray and, had a perm. I mean, everything was just too much,
Everything
but it
was
was
too
so
much.
good.
But everybody is embracing that so much idea, the value of like, you know what? I could add a little bit more, bling bling, whatever, everything a little, the glamour that they're trying to chase
Hmm.
because of the financial boom in the 80s. Everything was booming. So nowadays I'm looking for it. But recently I've noticed, it's no
No.
secret, a lot of brands are trying to recreate or they are having a retro. We're having a retro moment. I think those things, even the major designers are picking it up reintroducing it, feeding back to us. Fashion. I mean, to oversimplify it, fashion is a little cycle. It adapts itself, cherry picking a little bit, then it revives its own. So if something that
Yeah.
I hate discontinue, I wanted to try it myself. It's actually one of the proper big muscular quote unquote masculinity in the 80s suits that I would like to try it. I would love to try it. I'm ready to try it. I've been wanting one for a while. So
It's gonna come up.
it's
You're
gonna come
probably
up
just manifesting it just right now.
just right
And
now.
then we're
So,
gonna see it because I feel like, of course, every trend every year there's
mhm.
certain decades that
Yeah.
are focused on. It almost feels, I'm embarrassed. I don't know if it's 70s inspired
Mm-hmm.
lately, but it
Yes.
seems very 70s. So maybe that means, in the next couple months that the 80s are back in.
It is back in. Yes,
It'll
exactly.
just keep cycling.
I think is that we are as we're embracing all these technology and social media, all these fast platforms that is available
Yeah.
out there for us, all the ideas, philosophies, people, even politics, let alone, fashion trends, everything has an audience. Everything has a potential to become big and to be bring to everyone's attention. So I feel like in the even though like the cycle is shorter, everybody talks about, being trendy and then die, and trendy in a few months maybe irrelevant and obsolete again. But I think what is really happening right now, from my point of view, is that a lot of trendy elements in fashion, they're being brought to our consciousness at the same time, simultaneously almost. That means that we don't have the one anymore, the one trend that we're chasing or the masses focuses on.
Yeah.
It's like we all could choose what kind of fit we want.
Oh, that's a
The,
key
the,
word. We're
the,
choosing for
we're
ourselves.
choosing from ourselves now. The
Yeah.
menu is so broad that we choose from. The menu is basically, instead of like that came from a fashion magazines, and now our menu is actually the past 1 century. I feel like,
That's so
everybody could
true. It's
choose to
just a
wear.
fusion of everything, and we can
Yes,
decide
we could
how we're
decide.
feeling, what we want to wear today, or what
Hmm.
style we want because we choose it, not
We
because we're
choose it.
doing it for other people. Even like with fragrance and beauty,
Hmm.
you can combine different looks and
Hmm.
styles, wearing something shimmery and
Hmm.
sparkly with a more matte,
Hmm.
it's just, there's so much you can play
So
with.
more options now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so much more options to choose
And
from
people
now.
are
We don't
not,
have
I
to.
guess, being so judgmental.
Right. We don't have to be like feeling like, is this like right thing to wear for this year? It's like, I think that burden is, you could choose to
Yeah.
unburn that now. It's easier
Yeah.
for us to unburn that.
Especially if
Yeah.
you're around people that support
Oh
that, and
yeah.
like, you do you. I
Yeah.
support it. I love
Yeah.
you. I just want you to be happy. And
Yes.
we're lucky
100%.
in that we're in Houston, that where we have the flexibility to do that, I think, here in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
compared to other places, other cities. But I love that. Yeah. So, okay, that 80s suit, I'm excited.
So
Maybe I'll
yes,
see you walking by,
one
rocking
day, eventually, you will. I think that's
what do you
my
call the shoulder pads?
the shoulder pads will come back. Yes, the over masculinity, quote unquote, yeah, masculinity.
Oh,
But yeah, something I always want to try.
love
It got
it.
its own charisma that we lack today. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there anything before we go that you wanted to talk about, or is there anything that you wanted to say?
I think you touch on a lot of topics that
Aw.
very
Well,
useful and valuable to me. So you did really good. No, I think we cover most everything.
you feel
Yes.
good?
Yes,
Well,
good, good.
I just enjoyed. This was so fun. This is so fun. Yes. Yeah, we will. So this is gonna
Yes.
grow, and then I'll, we'll be like a twofer. So I'll
Yeah. If
have you
anyone,
on
like,
maybe
let's
next
say,
year.
if like brought your attention, you know what, that topic, I need a little bit more detail to that, then you
Yeah.
could let me know.
We
Yeah.
gotta check in. We could do let's check in with Kenneth,
Let's check in with
Let's check
Kenneth.
in
Yes.
with this person. What are they
You
doing
know,
now?
you're my favorite producer so far. So
Oh,
I'll be
thank
more than
you.
happy to come back
Oh, I'm learning.
to
And
your
I didn't say
invitation.
the word transition 500 times on
No,
this episode. So,
it's
so far, so good.
so far so good. I'm happy.
Well, I can't thank you enough. And I am so excited to share your story. And I just thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm sorry it's discontinued. I appreciate you so
Yeah.
much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sorry It's Discontinued. If you love hearing the real voices from behind the counter, be sure to follow the show, leave a review, or share this episode with another fan of fashion, fragrance, anything retail. And if you've got a story to tell or an idea for a future episode, I'd love to hear from you. Just head to sorryitsdiscontinued.com. Send me a message. This podcast is independently produced and not affiliated affiliated with or sponsored by any brands, companies, or retail stores mentioned. All stories and opinions are personal and reflect the views of the individual speaking. We speak honestly, but this space is meant to be respectful of the brands, stores, and careers we've all worked really hard for. This show is about connection, the challenges of working in this industry, but the inspiration we get from each other. So thank you for being here. And remember, a smile can brighten someone's day, whether you're behind the counter or in front of it. I can't wait to have a seat with you next time. Sorry. It's discontinued.